Really good weekend of Super Rugby from a New Zealand point of view. It's always good when all three New Zealand teams do the job. That's what the Highlanders, the Chiefs and the Crusaders did to varying degrees of success. Real grindy win by the Highlanders, a very grindy win by the Chiefs on Saturday night, and then we've finally seen the Crusaders get their attacking mojo. That last piece is going to be huge as they come back to face the Chiefs and what's going to be a cracking weekend next weekend. That's the Saturday night game. Friday night this week, it's Blues v the Hurricanes. Two teams coming off different bye weeks. Hurricanes with the announcement about Mark Hammett. I think they've handled that situation really well. We're expecting an announcement soon as to who the new Hurricanes coach is going to be. They want to do it sooner rather than later, which is very smart. And then we've got our dear friends the Blues, who are travelling okay, but it's interesting to note that they haven't had success away from Eden Park. They get a lot of players back. Donnelly, Tuipulotu, Saili, Kevin Mialamu, who's going to be huge, Jamison Gibson Park. And then you got the pity factor as well. Pity Wepu around and training. And then you got the other factor, Benji Marshall. How much will we see from them? This is a really important period for the Blues. Last year, this was an area where they just dropped off a little bit. Sir John Kirwan is happy because he's got good competition, which is something he maybe didn't have last year. I think this is setting up for what's going to be an awesome week of Super Rugby, an awesome couple of weeks of Super Rugby to be precise. I'm picking we could see some real fireworks out of the New Zealand teams.
Another weekend of Super Rugby, I don't know, not the most exciting weekend, but congratulations to the Highlanders, an outstanding victory for the Malakai Feki Toa. How could your Blues let you go? I love you! All black in the making, I think, but great to see some depth coming through with the Highlanders too. Very, very good bench. Let's move on. Chiefs, coming back from South Africa, the performance we expected? Probably not. Big game next week against the Crusaders. Speaking of the Crusaders, very good win in South Africa. Defensively though, a lot of questions still being asked. How good are they? Hey, it's all going to be against the Chiefs this weekend. We'll find out whether or not the Chiefs have turned their fortunes around.
Warren and I are quite pleased about what happened over the weekend. As you can tell, I'm wearing my favourite Crusaders top, but I'm not really swinging off the chandeliers and thinking we're championship bound, because let's face it, away wins over the Indian Ocean are a really good thing for the Crusaders, but it was a couple of pants team and it was squeaky bum time right towards what was like 15 minutes before the Crusaders looked like they actually had the game in the bag, and they should have actually had it in the bag a lot earlier, but they couldn't write the Cheetahs off. I mean, maybe the Cheetahs are quite a good team playing back at home, but I was a little concerned about the nature of the leakage of the defence, so maybe it's not all that. However, you do not sniff at points over the Indian Ocean, and now it comes back, and what happens this Friday night up against the Chiefs, who have been waning, I suppose, a wee bit in form, is going to be absolutely epic. The reigning champs against the team that have won more championships than anybody else, and they've just come back from that huge trip over to the Republic. It promises to be an awesome fixture. Chiefs, that they're low down on manpower, as we know. Crusaders coming into their own. What happens on Friday night is anyone's guess, but when push comes to shove, even though I'm not hugely celebrating the fact we got wins over in the Republic, we'll take the points, we'll bank them. And doesn't Nandola look fantastic in red and black? And how's the black and red? Incidentally, this is old school, this shirt now. Hey, Canterbury, you listening? Send me a black one. Go on, I dare you.
Hold on. Well, just for God's sake, what do we want to talk Blues for? Why don't we just talk the same thing we talked about in this very thing for the last 5 weeks, the Warriors? I mean, they're only talking to it, aren't they?
I mean, you look at the Blues, they got the Hurricanes this weekend. They had a bye. You don't get 4 points for a bye at this time in Super Rugby. So the Blues are just lucky the Warriors self-combusted and are slowly dragging themselves up off
If the Warriors could set up a drop goal as well as your average New Zealand rugby team does, they would have won.
I don't think average New Zealand rugby teams can set up drop goals, Mark.
Well, surely it
it's a huge failing of New Zealand rugby.
Gut-wrenching, but how well is that? You've got to accelerate success, you've got to accelerate excellence, and Hodgkinson, that bloke can kick.
Well, you know, he's a Daly M runner contender this season, along with Josh Reynolds, who's been playing pretty well. And of course, no Robbie Farah now. He's injured, so who's going to be hooking State of Origin?
Hey, how about the Phoenix? They showed improvement.
Well, they pegged one back. They only lost by 3 goals instead of the 5.
No, they were last year. They're second last this year.
Well done.
Improvement.
That is good. Speaking of last, the Blues. I thought we were going to talk about the Blues in this.